crusade where the optimism of the leading light made cynicism cease to exist. Was thus born the Kalgidhar Society, to enrich lives for individuals by building a better tomorrow with a simple thinking that one wants to serve first.
A mission to provide education and healthcare to people in rural parts of India. Dr. Neelam, Dr. Devinder Singh, Bapuji, they have committed themselves to a mission of serving others.
It's no secret that the education-led transformation of rural North India by the Kalgidhar Society's Akal Academies is a heartening outcome of the sweat, spirit and service of large number of volunteers driven by a purpose serving much beyond their capabilities.
The way they teach, they call it value-based education, creating good human beings. The whole focus on educating women. In our villages, people have access to good education.
Badu Sahib is a very impressive organization that has undertaken the task of providing quality value-based education not only in Punjab but in many other states.
The ingenious idea of starting a school lone classroom relieves resources, and here lies a great wisdom to start many schools at the same time. A crusade of Baba Iqbal Singh Ji, bringing grace to human race. Baba Ji, a bureaucrat, a social reformer, and a global citizen.
Very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's really a pleasure to be in company of such good humans here. Each one of you is here only because you want to do good for somebody else in some place. You might never get to see those people, but you've taken time out to spend your energies and probably you're putting your lives and careers. That itself is so humbling for all of us from the Kalgidhar Society who are here today. Having heard during the day all the journeys that you all are tirelessly going through, we really want to humbly share with you all that we are also participating in. With your due permission, I would like to just take you through what all we have been doing so far, because just the way we have learned so much today from listening to you all, which we'll go back and inculcate in our processes, I'm sure there'll be a thing or two that you too would like to replicate. So what is our mission? Our mission is to create good human material. How? Why do we want to do this? We want to do this to establish permanent peace in the world. And how will we achieve this? Through value-based education. Yes, all of you could say that this sounds to be a bit lofty, establishing permanent peace in the world through value-based education. But then let me be honest, we have not created this. We have inherited this. And there are two ways I'll explain this to you. One, this entire mission was conceived way back in 1906 by Sant Athar Singh Ji, the picture you see on your top left. He was a very revered saint of his times in 1906, but so much was his zeal for modern education to be given to the children in 1906 that Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya Ji requested him to lay down the foundation stone of Banaras Hindu University. So in 1906, back in Punjab, he built the first girls' school and a girls' college. Just to remind you that North India happens to be one of the most gender unequal areas even today. Way back in 1906, forming a school for girls and a college for girls, both of which were much larger than the Gurudwara there. Had he not been that big a saint, I'm sure people wouldn't have agreed to what he did. So he then sent his disciple, that's Sant Teja Singh Ji, to study in all the leading universities in the world, bring back the education dissemination models from there, and then come back and blend it with the traditional Indian value systems to create a full wholesome education model with which he said that they would be able to produce good human material, which would be well-rounded on both sides. So while we've been looking at education all through the day, and there's just been a discussion on skill development versus education versus livelihood, this is another aspect that if there is value-based education given to a boy or a girl, to any child, everything is taken care of. It is going to take care of all the reasons that we are deploying our money and effort for, which are imbalances in the system otherwise. Sant Teja Singh Ji passed out of Harvard in 1912, came back and again on request of Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya Ji taught in the Banaras Hindu University's Teachers Training College as a principal for 1 year. Thereafter, he's laid down the format and the mission for these educational institutions to come up. Baba Iqbal Singh Ji and Dr. Khem Singh Ji Gill are the two who inherited the legacy. Padam Shri and Padam Bhushan awardees. One was the Director of Agriculture in Himachal Pradesh and the other the Vice Chancellor of Punjab Agriculture University, also known as the father of the Green Revolution in India. So with these kind of lofty individuals, noble souls being behind the cause, there is no way that the goals can be anywhere lesser. That's one. And two, if you look at it, as a country, light always came from the East. Our moral values have always shown, Indian values always have shown direction to the whole world. That's history. And we are a generation which is between history, where light came from the East, and a prophecy of the future, where light is again going to come from the East. So no matter where we put our goals are pretty much pre-ordained and pre-laid. So coming back to where we are right now, we are only focused on rural education, but very high quality of scientific modern education, as well as a very high degree of moral education. So there are about 129 CBSE rural schools, 2 universities across 5 North Indian states, catering to about 75,000 boys and girls, close to 7,000 villages now, which we are touching, and about 2 million citizens that are being looked at. So you see, while the schools are very frugal and simple buildings, but right from day one, we have not had a blackboard in any of our classrooms. We only have had smart boards. The Kalgidhar society today has the largest population of smart boards in the rural India. And there's a reason for that. Because once you have a smart board, you can get teachers from anywhere to come in and collaborate and teach those children. It is very difficult for them to come to the rural part of the country. We have language labs across our schools, because you can teach them English, how to read and write, but you can't teach them how to pronounce it rightly. And that's what gives them a whole lot of, at times, awkward situations, inferiority complexes, when they come out to the cities and they feel they're not technologically that savvy. They feel that their pronunciation, they're called out for. So all these things, all of us who are working in education, we would like to share that these are things that have worked very, very strongly for us in imparting very good education, very, very deep-seated into rural schools. We don't even have one school in a city. All of them are in villages. ICT, STEM labs, of course, we all know why they are important and what all we can do with them. Very good sports facilities. For now, all these children, they have much lesser, distractions than a normal average city kid. They are much, much better health-wise. So if they're given the right focus and the right tools, the impact is really outstanding. It's a big challenge to give all schools in rural India transport buses as per the Supreme Court guidelines, because none of them exist there, so it's a big, big draw. So you see that while we have our frugal schools, but the kind of education delivery model is very, very strong inside. We are in Rajasthan, Haryana, Himachal Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh and Punjab. You would see that we received the World Book of Records record for having the largest webinar during Corona, just at the beginning of the Corona time. 100,000 people attending, no Zoom, no Google Meet, nothing. So the only thing was that we wanted all our kids not even to miss one class. Now please imagine this is no city. They are sitting in deep-seated villages, and in their houses they don't even have computers. So the times are being shifted so that the farmer's son and daughter can study for different classes on the same phone in different times. 100,000 people coming online in a rural setup, which is absolutely fragmented. Now, what is the impact? As you would notice that we've already produced the first rank in the All India Medical NEET exams. So now, if we assume that this is a 50-year-old examination, and every year in exclusive a new school has gotten to get the first place in the NEET exam, it's only a niche club of 50 schools. Imagine something in the system is working that within 30 years, a rural school comes into the top 50 schools in the country and produces something like that. So we've had, you're seeing that even in accountancy, CA exams, we've got All India rank 9, All India rank 18 in NDA, and Bhabha Atomic Research Center, Nuclear Science, Atomic, we got rank 9. All India rank 9. So you see that kids from the villages are becoming IS officers. We got rank 33 and 34 as IS officers from these deep-seated rural villages coming in the judiciary. The IIM Ahmedabad did a case study that how is it that, you know, this entire, it's not one school, not two schools, but over 120 schools which are working. I'll need about 5 minutes. Okay, then I can just close. Okay, fine, I'll do it. So you see the IIM Ahmedabad did a case study on how this system is working all along. And the case study went on to win the first prize amongst all the case studies done in that year in IIM Ahmedabad. They do about 800 of them. Furthermore, this was picked up by Harvard University to be taught as a reference material in their curriculum. All this is happening from schools within rural parts of India. 2 universities thereafter, which have also come up. A whole lot of women empowerment programs. Now the biggest challenge here for all of us who are working in the villages and schools, it's impossible to get good teachers. You know, where do you bring good teachers from? So along with Cambridge University, a program was launched 10 years back, wherein 10th and 12th passed children from the same villages were picked up, trained as teachers for 5 years, and then brought back into the same schools. So that's the teaching army, that's the backbone of these schools. Of course, sustainability is a regular part of everything that we do. There's been a big social impact. These children have well-roundedly been working as change agents. So you see there's a Limca Book of Records created for the largest walk, anti-drug walk by these children. Now, you would see that as an impact of that, in the highest per capita consumption of liquor area of Punjab, 242 villages, I'd seek your attention on this, 242 villages have passed resolutions in their panchayats that all liquor vends in their villages should be removed. All because of these children. Within 20 days, a father left drugs, which normally takes 6 months, and there's only a 7% because the son said that I'm not going to have dinner with you if you're not going to leave it within 7 days. So that's the kind of social change that's coming up. Of course, there's a lot of disaster relief that's been happening. Kerala floods, Punjab floods, Kashmir earthquake. There's a full-time charitable hospital, about 265 beds, 3 de-addiction centers. Now, the Kalgidhar Society is, along with all these certifications, having GuideStar and Credibility Alliance endorsements. We have already been as one of the first few NGOs to register on the social stock exchange. The SDG Action Awards have been given to us in 2020 for wholesome action in rural education. So we started with a value system, and today's benchmark of value system is already endorsed that we are on the right track. So these are our current awards and our supporters. We've been fortunate that a whole lot of, whether it's the public sector, private sector, a whole lot of leading corporates have given us wholehearted support. And last but not least, it's never enough. We only are covering 7,000 villages till now. The whole of India is left. 2 things I would like to request here. One, this is something that we have perfected over time. I mean, it's not perfect, but we've reached somewhere. we would love to share with anyone who's working in any part of the country. And we would love to invite you. I would love to tell the organizers also, if we could, we have a huge campus there where we welcome you all, that if we have to have a dialogue on education, on rural education, just as we were just discussing that let's all collaborate on it, we welcome you all, and we'll host it there. Let's have a discussion and share. We learn from you, you learn from us, and that's the way, holding each other's hand. Of course, there's a big nation that we have to build. Thank you very much for your time.
So, may I call upon Mr. Sandeep Pachpande to present the memento to Sir.